So, A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's a little surprising to me that I'm so interested in this title. I've often said that, oh, we'll never do that play, because I do feel it's done so much, even though it is virtually a perfect play. It's done so much that you really need a really good reason to do it, and you really need to have a really good entry into it. And I have some ideas that have been developing over the past couple of years that I wanted to share and that I'm pretty excited by actually around this play. I thought at first that it might do well in our Charlestown slot because it's quite accessible, it's funny, and it does deal with identity and relationship and a bunch of the things that are important issues around there. I'm not sure that's where it belongs. We may take it somewhere else. It may fit somewhere else in the season. I don't know for sure, but it's one of those ideas. There are two main points about this play that make me feel like it is a good play for us to do, that I'm excited about working on. One of them is I'm really interested in exploring the darkness inside it. It's a very funny play. It's a very light play in many ways, but there's this dark current that I would love to bring more to the fore. There's a wonderful line of Puck's in his epilogue where he says, and we fairies that do run by the triple Hecate's team from the presence of the sun, following darkness like a dream. And I just love that line, and I think that that is actually an undercurrent of the play, that it is the real soul of that play. So I want to bring that out. There's a savagery in what happens to the lovers and how they interact with each other. The cruelty that they actually express. That while it's hilarious, is also it's a little dark. So I want to find a way to bring that out, and one of the ways that I thought about doing this is based on this film that I saw a long time ago. When I was in college, I was a TA on a course about comedy at Harvard, and in this course we would look at various comic archetypes, and for each archetype we would read a play, and we would also see a film. So for example, one of the archetypes was the Lord of Misrule, and we looked at Falstaff, but we also looked at Animal House. For the Midsummer Night's Dream, we did the archetype we looked at was into the woods. The notion of leaving the organized social structure, going out into the woods where change occurs and the inner life is revealed and comes to the surface, and transformation happens. The film that we used for that was a film called After Hours by Martin Scorsese. It's like a 1984 film, I think. And it's one of my favorite films. I really love this film. It's strange and funny and odd. And it's all, if you don't know it, it's all about this guy who lives on the Upper East Side and he works in a really boring job. And he decides, because he's bored, and frustrated, to go downtown to try to meet this girl whose number he picked up. That's Rosanna Arquette, and he heads down there, and all sorts of crazy stuff happens, and he basically gets trapped on the Lower East Side, and he can't escape. And weirder things are happening to him, and he is being buffeted about by these strange and almost magical characters who are the artisans and artists of the Lower East Side, who are just different from other people. And he finally escapes and gets back to his normal life. But it is a real nice parallel for this play. Because in some ways the key to solving the play is to figure out how you are going to approach the fairies and what you're going to do with them. And I don't want to do the sort of crazy moving, sort of, ooh, I'm a fairy sort of stuff. But we do want to find a way that they're dramatically different from the Athenians. And so what I want to do with the show is actually create the world of the fairies as a very as kind of an artist's realm of the downtown urban setting, so that the lovers and the Athenians would really be like the country club set, who then come down into the inner city and are are transformed by that experience. For example, a lot of times in a Midsummer Night's Dream, the lovers will come in and they'll be fully dressed, and gradually they'll lose their clothes, so by the end they're mostly naked as they're stripped away. Makes sense. But I'm thinking that rather than that, they would actually be transformed. They might get tattoos and leather jackets and do-rags, and I don't know what. I don't know how it would work exactly. I don't yet have a real clear idea of what that world looks like. It needs to be actually really contemporary. I do have this idea that we might work with kids from Boston Arts Academy. It's also been suggested that instead of doing it at Charlestown, we might do it at this place called Artists for Humanity, which is down in South Boston, and is full of artists and young artists. So maybe getting them involved, using the contemporary urban forms of dance and beat, and I don't know, but I don't know how that's all going to look yet, but I think it could be a really fun way to look at the play that would really open it up in a very contemporary way. So that's my idea.